and welcome to our international podcast, Below the Belt. Who vex lose? Guys, let us know if you're hearing us clearly today. We got a packed program. Apologies, guys. The weather at our end is pitch perfect. We are fired up. We are ready to go. We hope that you guys are as well. We see Candidaline Inderjeet is here, and Beatrice Selby. We see Isabella Butters is here, watching us from Manhattan, listening and watching from Manhattan. We see Siobhan McDonald is here as well. Siobhan McDonald. Sandra Jones is here as well. And in the studio, we have Trina Fernandez is here with me still. She's here from right on from the morning program, working hard today.
That is correct. That is correct. So I'm here with you guys. Nice to see all of you. Sandra Ford. I see two Sandra, Sandra Ford and Sandra Jones. You know, the Sandras are in with us this midday. So good day to all of you folks. Kurt Paris, Maureen Chichester Paul. Hey
Yep.
guys. Marlon King, Magnell Barrow. Lynette Jacobs, all you guys that have taken the time out to be with us and have your lunch with us this midday.
Yep.
And guys, as you are with us today, I would like to tell you the first thing that you need to do is to share the live stream. You know how it goes. Share the live stream. Make sure that everyone gets an opportunity to get credible information. I see Sandra Ford is saying that she's having a beef curry. Hey, Don Cook is here with us this midday too. Dawn, how are you this midday? What are you having for lunch? Thank you for joining us this midday. I see it's Fire Lion is on with us this midday saying good afternoon, beautiful Guyana. Good afternoon. Well, good day to you, Sean Rodney. Hey Sean, how are you? Sion rather. Sion, how are you doing this midday? Hope you're having a good day thus far. I wish you all the best for the rest of the day. I see joining us Basil Clark also. That thumbs up right back at you, Basil Clark. You know, guys, I hope you. The Sherrod says it's Basil Clark. He says not Basil, it's Basil. Basil Clark. And guys, we are always with you to bring you credible information. We continue to dissect what is going on here in our country, make sure that you, the people, are well informed every day, all day. Tea, breakfast, and dinner, morning, noon, and night, however you want to put it. We are out here making sure that you get credible information. I see Terrence Beaton with us here this midday. Good day, Terrence, and all you wonderful folks right now joining us. Let us know where you're joining us from. We have quite an interesting discussion to be had today, you know, national introspection, and basically be the change you want to see in the world. And quite a good piece of advice being given there, and somewhat which I support 100%. Also, be the change, and we're out here doing our bit because we want to be the change that we wish to see, and we encourage everyone to be the change themselves. You can't get anywhere if we are not out there fighting for what we believe in, if we're not out there actually letting our beliefs and our norms be seen, all the value systems that we hold so dear to our family. It is important for us to go out there and be the shining example, you know. You never know who is looking and who is watching at what you're doing on a daily basis. So we encourage you to be that shining example. But a whole lot to be discussed. We have very much of a packed program this midday. We have our co-host from FYI, Amanda Walton Desir, will be joining us, and our colleague Darren Adams, regional chairman of Region Number 10, also will be joining us in this discussion. So much to be said as it pertains to national introspection and the work that each of us have to do in order to realize the change that we want to see in the world. And we're going to start by the change that we want to see right here in Guyana, in our communities that we are in.
Yep, Amanda's going to be joining us in just a few.
Well, Shard is saying that Amanza is going to be joining us in just a few. So, Marine says pace and power. I see Don Sullivan is saying that he's joining from Bachelor's Adventure. There is in the house. Magnell Barrow. Hey, Magnell, what are you having for lunch today? I hope you're having a good day thus far. I see Prim Prasad is with us also. And Chising Henry is saying it's vegetable noodles with salmon for lunch today. Quite an interesting combination there. Chising and Yolanda. Good day to you, Yolanda, and Selena Fraser that is joining us from Toronto, Canada this midday. It's always lovely to see folks taking the time out from all parts of this world to make sure that they join this podcast. Very, very interesting discussion. I'm telling you guys, you're gonna be want to be on here, listening in and adding your comments as the discussion progresses along the podcast this midday. You're gonna want to chime in and say what are your thoughts and beliefs in what we are saying here today. Do you believe that it is important for you to be a part of the change that you desire in this world? Do you believe that we all have a responsibility to do introspection to see whether or not we are doing things that demonstrate the change that we wish to see perpetuated in this country? So, a whole lot to be discussing on that. When you wake up in the morning, what do you do to contribute towards the development of your community? What do you do to contribute towards eliminating and domestic violence in your community, for example? What do you do towards creating a space and an environment that young girls feel safe to go out and speak out against wrong that are done, some things that are done that is wrongfully done against them? We all have this responsibility. It is absolutely important for us to be that change. And I don't depend on anyone to create that change that I wish to see. That's why I'm always out up and about making sure that my voice is heard. And I thank you so much for every time you share any platform that we're a part of so that you are assisting to amplify that voice also and the voices of so many who cannot speak for themselves. That's our job out here, and we do it to the best of our ability. We tweak as we go along, but at the end of the day, we are most interested in making sure that our country, our community, the citizens living in Guyana are better equipped with the knowledge and better able to not only speak out for themselves, but also to do things that's going to benefit persons that are less capable of dealing with matters on their own behalf. So, Sharad is right here next to me. Magnell Barrow. He is right here in the background. He's working and he is going to be on very, very shortly, guys. But he is just connecting our guests as I give the introductions this midday. Marlene, AWD, welcome back. Most definitely, Amanda is going to be on very, very shortly. And I see Shirley is here with us also, either here in Bartica, eating a what? Brooklyn broth and dumpling. That little complicated, you know. I see Shirley said either here in Bartica, eating Brooklyn broth and dumplings. I don't know how that's working out there, but good for you, Shirley. Good for you, Marlon. With that. I can't say that as fluently as Sherrod says it. So I'm gonna try my best to say that right now. We there. I am 100% sure that did not go over as it should have, but bear with me, guys. That's not my line.
Yeah. And guys, guess who we have here with us? We have here, y'all know she's a girl with your things. Amanza Walton Desir is here with us, and our regional chair is going to join us out of Region 10 in just a little bit, Darren Adams. But we have the Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation. Hopefully she cooperates with us today. Amanza Walton Desir, welcome back. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome back to the podcast.
Judith and Sharon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to you guys. Good afternoon to your listeners.
Hey, Amanza, how are you?
I'm good, my dear, and yourself?
I am great. The listeners
Good,
are
good.
here. The viewing public has been longing for your return. So everyone is saying welcome back,
Well, I am
Manza.
back.
The comment section is alive, and now with all the comments welcoming you back. So there you have it, all the love being shared to AWD, as you
Mm-hmm.
are so rightfully
Well,
addressed.
I there.
We there, we
Listen,
there, we
I'm gonna
there,
ask Sher to
we
do
there,
to do his part to actually say it.
we there, we there, we there, we there.
Oh my goodness, I
We
don't
out
think I
here, we
got
out
it.
here.
We out here, we there. Listen, I missed that part of my upbringing to properly say those words with the level of juice that it
I
requires.
like that juice. Juice.
So-
Guys, let me know if you guys are hearing me clearly. I just want to ensure our audio is coming through clear. Tessa Isaac Graves, Andy said, we miss you. Amanzo Watson is here.
Amanza, are you hearing us
Thanks
clearly?
so much.
Yes.
Yes, I'm hearing you loud and clear, just very touched. I mean,
Yep.
it's always nice
Isabella
to
Butter
know that,
says, welcome back. Very
makes
talented
a
and
difference.
beautiful Amanzo.
Yeah, yeah, gonna have give me trouble to contain the size of my head.
Yes. Cecile Ogle says, we miss you. Cecile says, we miss you, Amanzo.
Yes, I missed y'all too. It's really good to be back. I had, some family issues to attend to, took a little break, but we're back. We're back, and it's pace and power.
Well,
The rest
most
is next.
definitely, we understand. We all understand that sometimes we need to take some time to attend to so many pressing matters that are not political in nature. So, Manzo, we are so glad you took the time out to actually do what you have to do, and now you are back, revived and refreshed, and ready to interact back with our family, the below the belt family, the FYI family. The family is large and has been growing. So I see Joan McDonald is here, Manza back, Manza back, sweetie, for your whole life.
Doretta, you're right. Doretta, you are so right. It is a family. I'm telling you, man. Um, I was in London and people are talking about below the belt and in the ring, and you
Wow.
know, um, people have asked me to convey regards to yourself and to Sharon. Really encouraging, really encouraging feedback. Really encouraging feedback. I think it makes all the difference sometimes when we know that at least we're making an impact, because it's not easy to get up to every day, 3 times a day. And so the fact that an impact is being made is
Yep,
really
yep.
appreciated. And so, I'm just deeply encouraged by the fact that
Yep.
more and more people are increasingly, they're looking to us for credible information. When they want to get to the truth of a matter, they say, well, we can hear what Sherrod and Joretta got to say about it and what FYI has to say about it. So
Got
that
you.
feedback is very, very important. So kudos, guys, and
Yep.
let's keep up the good work.
Well, I could have said it better myself. It is refreshing to have persons come online and make the time and schedule time out of their day and also their lives to be with us and contribute so meaningfully by sharing the podcast and all of the other programs. Persons, this family that we have been building, it's a very dependable, reliable set of people, and we're all so proud to be a part of this family. So Amanza said it really well. We look forward. We thank you all for the support that you have been given, and it is so nice that when you Amanza, when you're out there traveling, that persons out there are giving you the positive feedback that you are relaying here right now.
All right. And guys, I do think we have the regional chairman out of Region 10, the one and only Darren Adams is joining us. Welcome, sir. Do we have him? Let me try to get him back.
Yes, and Sherrod is working very hard right now on making sure that our team is all queued up and ready to go. So bear with him a little bit as we continue the conversation. But you know, a man's quite an interesting topic for us to be dealing with today: national introspection. You know, these words of wisdom coming here today from AWD. Amanda, what we'd like to say to the persons online right now about national introspection and what are your thoughts as how we go about moving forward? I think we are about to get Mr. Darren Adams online, folks. So, Amanda, as you take the first bit of commentary on that as we wait on Darren Adams. Folks, share the live stream. We are about to go into the discussion, national introspection. We are waiting on Darren Adams for a few seconds here. Right now, I think he's with us. I would like to welcome my colleague from Region 10, and the regional chairman, Mr. Darren Adams. You know, Darren has been working, and I am so super proud of the work that he's doing. We go a long way back, Darren. Welcome to the program today.
All right, good afternoon, and thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, guys. It's a pleasure. Can you hear me clearly?
Very clearly, Darren.
I think that Jurida was about to say, Mr. Chairman, that you got some lineage from Bartica or something like that. Very good friend. She's coming up there. She's coming along that line. some relative is yours. You're from Bartica originally because you're good people. It's good stuff. Just like Amanda. Amanda's on with us as well, Mr. Regional Chairman.
Hi, Darren. How are you, my brother? It's good to be with you again.
Thank you for having me.
Definitely, you know. So, guys, we have a full house right now. We have both Amanda and Darren with us. So, we'll go straight into the discussion. You know, national introspection and be the change you want to see in the world. And we'd like to start off by inviting the comments from Amanda Walton Desir on this very important topic today. Amanda, go ahead.
Thank you, Director. Look, I think I made a post on this thing yesterday, asking that we as a nation really begin to do some introspection, and that is because I realized that what we continue to do as a nation and as a society is to treat symptoms of illnesses
Yep.
rather than getting to the root cause. All of these incidents that you see are happening, I liken it to a tree. What you're seeing is the fruit of a particular tree. Whether that tree be greed, whether it be corruption, whether it be just complete breakdown of law and order, what you are seeing, these acts, spitting in the face of a policewoman, you know, a member of parliament telling a female colleague that she needs a dildo on the floor of the National Assembly. They are
Wow.
symptomatic of a deeper malady. And unless we as a society get to the point that we understand and recognize that we have to get to the root of the issue, we are basically marking time and confusing activity with progress. You have the yard, weeds are overtaking it. Generally, what you do is that you go and you pull the root of the plant out. Because you know, if you keep cutting it, as long as the root is there, that weed will continue to sprout.
Correct.
And so, similarly, as a society, we have to begin to deal with the root causes of all of these maladies that you see manifesting themselves in our society.
Yep. As a matter of fact, Amanda, you would have said in that post, you asked the question, when will we therefore begin to take stock of ourselves? When is enough enough? And you did say that part of the problem is leadership, but then some too is we the people. It's we the people. Some of it.
It is, and that is a fact. That is a fact. Now, whilst it is true that everything turns on leadership, the people are who determine who leadership is. So, as a consequence, it is the responsibility of the people to hold leaders accountable.
Correct.
If I put you there and you are failing, I must hold you accountable. The reality is that we have to begin to deal with the very harsh issues. We have to begin to deal with the toxic political climate, the climate that sees us being or considering criticizing of maybe a political party that we're affiliated to as being a bad thing. There is constructive criticism. The only way that we can get better and improve is if we are not afraid to speak out. Now we can agree that there's time and there's place and there's method and so on. That is accepted. But the fundamental principle that we have to embrace as a nation is that it is okay to speak out against wrongdoing. It is okay to speak out against wrong. I am appalled at the lack of condemnation of Nirvan Singh and that incident of spitting in the officer's face. But when you look at the incident of that female officer being manhandled by her colleagues, are we honest with ourselves enough to ask, is that whole scenario there why people like Nirvan Singh and them feel emboldened to do what the wrong that they did? Because we hold our own selves in such low regard and in such contempt. And you get into trouble for saying these things, but these are the questions that we have to confront, or we will be condemning every day. We will be issuing statements of condemnation every day and no closer
To solving the
solving the
maladies.
issue.
Yep. And that is why, Deron is so important to this discussion, because Deron has his plate full in Region 10. And Deron was part of the Board of Industrial Training graduation yesterday. And, as you said, Amanzo, you need to confront some of these issues. And that is precisely what Deron did, to say, you know what, we're graduating another cadre of good young people to the workforce, but it's a workforce that has been really, really impacted negatively by the PPP, and it's to put the blame rightfully where it deserves. The PPP came in, and by the time they had the first outreach in Linden in January, on January 14th of 2021, a whole slew of people were dismissed. So it's really shameful that you see them coming back to say, "Oh, we have the answers to the problem," when you would have created the problem yourself, Darren. All right, we're gonna get Darren back in a second. But I mean, this is what is going on, and we would have featured some of what a part of Darren's engagement there in that process just yesterday. But Amanda, jump right back in. You did say that we need to move beyond just, I think, highlighting the problem to a point where there's this national introspection, where we move towards fixing the issue, and it begins really and truly with looking at the man in the mirror.
Of course, Sharon. And I want to really commend Regional Chairman Adams Theron for the stand that he took. It is about standing up and speaking truth to power. That is the way change begins to happen. Now, he could have taken, the easy way out, law, the government, and whatever, and finish there. But the reality is that the unemployment rate will continue to skyrocket because of the skewed political realities that happen. We have to begin to confront these issues. And so I am no longer willing to deal with the fruits of the matter. We have to get to the root, and we as citizens of this country, we have to decide something has happened to the psyche of this nation that we have to study and understand. When you look at Cheddy Jagan, Forbes Burnham, hello?
Yes, Samantha, we're hearing you.
Yes, you look at these men, these giants, founding fathers of this nation. They were our age and younger, but there was something on the inside of them that wanted more and that saw that as a nation, we could be better. Did they make mistakes? Yes. But what they had was a fire in their bellies for the development of this nation. We appear to have lost that.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
we continue to be reactive. And we do not understand that this nation is ours to build. We travel to developed countries. And we travel to Barbados, for example, that's not far away, and we marvel at the fact of how clean it is and the beaches are nice. But how did they get there? The psyche of the nation had to be addressed so that people understand that if you have garbage, you walk with it until you reach a bin and you don't just throw it out of the bus window. So that people understand that if you put a beautification project, irrespective of whether you agree with it or not, you don't go vandalize the plants.
Correct is right. Correct is right. Correct is
There is
right.
a contempt that we have for our own and for ourselves. And unless we address it, and this is why I asked the question, do we not believe that we are worthy of a clean and orderly society?
Correct. Correct.
Sherry, this thing, it pains. It's a painful thing. When you love your country and your people and you can see everything that she can be, but you ask yourself,
But you got to
who
confront it. You got to confront it because, and again, I think we have Darren back with us. I want to pull him back into the discussion because what Darren, is experiencing in Region 10 as the chairman and Linden as the seat of the governance structure there in Region 10 is nothing short of shameful, right? You have, lots of young people who are fired from jobs that they were breadwinners in their family or they were working, whether they're breadwinners or not. You have the ability to work, you have the qualifications and know-how, you are entitled to a job in this country. And then you have folks coming now as though they're doing, a favor to the region. And I'm happy, Amanda, what you've said, because Darren was part of opening the court, the new magistrates court there in Kukwani just recently. And he made the point that, this initiative started in 2019 and then, so don't let us feel as though nothing was happening all along. Let's give credit to where credit is due. And then at the Board of Industrial Training graduation yesterday, he pointed out that, while we are graduating all these young people, a lot of young people were fired from the workforce, with the advent of the new administration. Darren?
Yeah. So thank you, Sharon. I often use the phrase that we hear in Region 10, and by extension, all those regions that supported the coalition will be doing a rock and a hard place. It's one thing to boast of training 184 persons, and you make it appear as though that this is something new to the region. The previous administration would have embarked and would have conceptualized many of these projects that you see happening. The difference with the then administration is that there was always room for continuity. So I can say to you that in 2018, 2019, the office of the First Lady, then Sandra Granger, would have trained 120 young people. They did receive their certificates from the Board of Industrial Training, and they went on to receive employment at the National Data Management Agency. So you had over 20 of them employed here, earning a salary of about 70,000. You do the math over a 5-year period, it's about 96 million that was injected into the region. So at all times in whatever you're doing, if you're genuine and genuinely concerned about the social and the economic well-being of our people, there must be room for continuity. And that is why yesterday I mentioned in that presentation that unfortunately, this is exactly where this current system of governance has failed our people. So many Londoners, yes, have been put, so many Londoners, I should say, over the past 2 years have been put on the breadline um, with their jobs taken away and nothing provided as an alternative for them. So I shudder to think what will become of the 184 that you're boasting of that you train. Um, Job creation must be a clear and well structured program. There must be room for continuity. All right, it must not be just a handout of temporary jobs that are being, propagated right now. I just received some application forms to distribute, but what happens after that 2 weeks or 3 weeks? That is what uh, that's where there's a clear line between how the previous administration functioned as against what we're seeing now. There was always room. So, if, for example, you had persons being young people being trained at the Bertram Collins College, and then they were employed after they received that training at various institutions and organizations. Many of them are working at the RDC here and in many other regions.
Yep, yep, yep,
But
yep, yep,
I just
yep.
I want to actually interject at this point, Darren, because you just mentioned that you have received some forms for persons to fill to apply. And you mentioned about some 2 weeks after a 2 week. Could you give a little more insight into what these particular part-time jobs will be, and the duration of this part-time of the part-time jobs that you are in possession of, the information that you have on hand right now, what they are, what is the duration?
so let me say this to you, and that's the question I just posed to one of the person I was chatting with, because there's no clear indication on the form as to the various positions that they have available. All they're saying is that there are there's work for health, education, agriculture, infrastructure, but there is no clear indication as to what exactly it will be that these persons are getting involved in.
But
So I
wasn't there a timeline given to the when the jobs will be available also? To my recollection, Sherrod, if you can remind me, I think that there was a timeline. Was it 2 weeks? Within 2 weeks, I think was the timeline that was given. So I shudder to think that the 2 weeks is for a paper to be printed for someone to apply. Is that what is there?
well, well, Joretta, let me say this, as I would have mentioned in a previous podcast, a broadcast that we had. The administration of the day, they're clever. They tend to distract you with the obvious while something is happening behind the scene. So this hula bahala you heard of 800 jobs being there, it's nothing that speaks to sustainability. I doubt there was any plan in place. I won't be surprised if it's some weeding and clearing of parapets and gutter, and but there's nothing. As I would have indicated, we over the period 2015 to 2020 had a well structured program in place where youths from the Bertram Collins College and even youths who participated in the Sustainable Livelihood and Entrepreneur Development Program benefited from funding and support. If you genuinely want to help young people, I say to you, activate the LEN board, provide access to funding for them so that they can access the 150 million that was left there under the previous administration, inject more funds into the program so that young people can have the opportunity to establish their small businesses.
Sustainable businesses
Yep.
that are not part-time.
right? They know, they have the ideas, they have the vision. I've seen many of them um, bringing their products and the produce out on the farmers market day. And that is what they're calling for, not part-time jobs, but a program that will allow them to receive access, allow them, invite them to when you have the small business bureau coming to the region, invite young people to participate and not only political hacks or persons who are aligned to your party. That is what you need to be doing, right? Be fair in the delivery of resources to the region, not
Correct.
partisan.
Correct. Deron, as Amanda's here, Amanza, feel free to jump in anytime, anywhere. I am very concerned as to what impact. Did you listed a number of sectors, agriculture, X, Y, and Z, that's on the form that you can sign up for, without the specific job vacancy being made known. I'm interested to know what may have impacted that being on the forum, that these are the sectors that are available where work is available. Who might have informed those choices? One, and two, is there a central body in Region 10 in Linden, for instance, that persons can go to sign up, to get information, what is available where, when you write up on this form, who you give it to? Maybe you can talk to us about that.
So, so what I'm seeing here, and I forgive me because I received the forms here about 5 minutes ago. Um, so what I'm seeing is here is that the form should be submitted to the regional executive officer, Region 10, or the office of the prime minister representative in the region. Besides that, there is nothing that speaks directly to um, what the jobs will likely be entail. Um, Besides the regular information, age, education, background, that is it. There is no clear indication as to what these jobs will be, other than that they're either in data analysis, communication, social services, community development, infrastructure and utilities, agriculture, education, and health. That's it. It's just a broad selection there.
There's no specificity because there is no
Yeah, yeah.
marked jobs. Let's call it what it is. And I dare say that it's interesting to hear you say that the form is to be submitted to the REO or the Prime Minister's representative. And my contention there, I'm a little going off topic a little bit, if you would allow me, but my contention there is based on the way in which the Prime Minister's representative's office is being utilized. I know, for example, in Region 7, I shudder to think that that is the same mechanism and method it's being utilized in Region 10, because in Region 7, that office is being utilized as strictly as a political office in which only persons that are politically aligned are benefiting from any program that goes through any bit of influence that goes through the office of the Prime Minister's representative in Region 7. It goes through a political filter. So for me to hear now that the forms should be submitted to the RU or to the Prime Minister's representative, I have a little bit of a contention there, because I know when this administration is following a specific structure, what goes in one region would go in the other. So to think that it's just a part-time jobs that have not been identified as yet, based on the fact that the form doesn't specify. And now to hear that it's going through that system, it basically tells me that this is going nowhere, and that nothing will be done to better the standard of living of any family or household in Linden. And it doesn't seem, not even for a good 72 hours, even if they are able to get a 2 week employment of some sort. So I'm very, very concerned about the forms having to go through the office of the Prime Minister. I don't know the person there, but I'm telling you based on my own experience with what is going on with that office in Region 7, I have no other option but to have the same speculation as to how it is being used in Region 10. I'm sorry.
I think guys, Jureta is onto something. When Darren said that, it stood out to me. Traditionally, we know that the representative of the office of the Prime Minister is a political representative. The other thing is that the regional executive officer is an appointee of the government. And so it is, let me explain what they're doing. It is a very clinical game that they're playing, and this is why we have to continue to speak to our people so that they cannot be caught unawares of the devices of these folks. What is going to happen is that these forms are going to be submitted, and choice people,
political filter,
are going to be given jobs and positions. What that does, the PPP preys on the psyche of Guyanese. And bear with me, because I think I may understand how they operate. What will happen is that a few choice people will get jobs. Those people will go around now believing that they are beholden because they've gotten jobs.
Yeah.
They do not see the role of government as being the servant of the people, and that job creation and job provision is an entitlement as a citizen. So what you find that they will begin to create is division amongst Londoners.
Talk the things, man, sir. Talk the things.
This person, no, that person will say, well, I get me and K, but y'all and thing, you tried it, I get. And so this is what the PPP preys on. They understand how to go in, how to divide, and how to conquer. And anybody that knows Linden, and I'm from Linden, understand that when Linden people decide that they are uniting, that is it.
Yeah. Well, I have Amanza, you're
But-
correct. You're correct, and I'm glad that you're putting more context to this particular matter, because I know that I whenever even if with every single thing that was done since this administration took office, it was done through a political filter, and because of that, there was wide-scale reports of corruption in all that was done. So now to go out and have all these announcements of 800 part-time job, that alone is that doesn't solve the issue of unemployment. It doesn't solve the issue of the inflation in basic food items and all of these things. But now to have it going through this political filter again, it basically says that the only thing that you have done is to go out and have a social media pitch, and now you are doing your political work on the ground. And these offices,
The reality is that they are in campaign mode.
That is what it is. That is what's going on.
Right? And so we have to continue to speak to the population, because people may want to say, well, why y'all in campaigning too? The trouble is that they command the public purse. And so they are using the public purse for their political gain. Now you see it. You see their ill intent in the manifestation of who they put in charge of things. So the representative of the PM's office, that is not an institution.
What is the portfolio of this person? What is, I have asked this question. What is the portfolio of the representative of the office of the Prime Minister? What is the portfolio?
Yeah, but jurors, there is no portfolio.
None at all.
They are a politically expedient outfit. And this is the modus operandi of the PPP.
The people believe that they have to go begging them for things.
Disembowel our institutions and set up personality cults. So you have to go kiss the ring of the Prime Minister representative in Linden. What should have happened is that these things should have been submitted to the RDC. so that Darren and his counselors would have a database and an idea as to
The elected
But-
body,
but-
Darren and his counselors are the elected body for region number 10. The people went out there and they said, we want this group of people to represent us and to manage on our
But I
behalf,
think what
our
we're saying
affairs.
is that there's no system. There's no system in
There
place.
is
It's
a
very ad
system.
hoc.
The system
No,
is
no.
to circumvent the elected body. That is the system.
That can't be a system. That's madness.
That is it. The system is madness.
It's madness. Darren, so it'll be interesting because we plan to track to see how many persons are employed, the kinds of jobs that they are employed doing, and to see how this really unfolds because it must be meaningful. We can't just have people purporting to spend taxpayers' money in this ad hoc willy-nilly fashion, and then the 8 people that they are going to employ, they're going to amplify it as those 800.
Yeah, but Sherrod, let me say this, and Amanda made a very good
Go right ahead, Mr. Chairman.
and residents of Region 10 need to be concerned. They should be concerned that indeed there is some hidden political agenda with this new development. Now, we have been speaking, and I say to persons all along that I believe that any government, you put aside whatever, put aside the politics thing for yourself. Governments must have a realistic and a strategic plan in responding to the identified activities of your region, right? Whether it's through financing and especially through budgetary allocation. 2 years now, we have been pleading, asking for the board to be set up for Linden Enterprise Network. That has been rejected. You have heard me speak of the issue with the public assistance program. How many of our people were taken off of public assistance, which is mostly Afro-Guyanese. So a board was installed of 8 members of Indian persons, um, and they have removed hundreds of struggling residents from the public assistance program with no plan in place of transition for these people. But because we predict and we know that they are in campaign mood, because we suspect that a snap election will likely be called, you see all of these things popping up. Right? When Small Business Bureau had their folks coming to the region, it was a lot of political people who were attending these meetings and not genuine people who could have benefited from the services of the SBB, the cash grant distribution, and all of these things.
Yeah,
Nothing
yeah,
new.
yeah.
So they continue to target us, as I would have mentioned on a previous program, strategically and intentionally. And now we question why is it that this form has to be submitted to a political appointee. So he will now dictate
Unacceptable.
who gets the work, who gets XYZ, and the council was not given the opportunity for their elected official who the councillors have. We have representatives in every area. Why wasn't these forms given to them so that they can go consult, meet with young people, know who are the best candidates, and make sure that they are all given an opportunity to be a part of the process? But no, and that's a that's a sad reality that we're facing here in the region.
No, I would have to withhold some of my sentiments. I kid you not.
Strong sentiments.
I would have to withhold some of my sentiments as to that structure that is being used there because the two bodies, the RU and the office of the Prime Minister's representative in Linden. Let me tell you something, because for persons who missed it, this is public information. We were at the Public Accounts Committee meeting on Monday, and none other than the RDC representative, the RUN team, had to be there to answer questions for the Region 10 body, and the findings from the 2017 and 2018 audit. Now, one of the very first things that was noted is in the introduction of the team that the DREO was not present, and we found it strange because DREO has the responsibility, should have the responsibility for program one, which is administration and finance. When we dug into it, only we found out that the REO took it upon himself to decide that the REO is not going to be responsible for that, but someone else beneath the DREO's portfolio had the responsibility for that particular program, something that cannot be at any point in time. So he was asked to rectify that immediately after leaving that meeting and to send a copy of the correspondence back to the PAC because it was unheard of. How is this happening? So I have my own, like I said, I would have to withhold some of my sentiments as to the fact that we have an administration that went to Region 10 and say that you are going to be giving out 800 part-time job, now only to reveal that it is going through a political filter, and the elected body, the RDC, the regional chairman and the councillors of region number 10 is not given the opportunity that the people of region 10 elected them to have to actually intervene and to manage these affairs on their behalf. This is grassroots leadership. This is why we had local government elections and all of these things, because we attest, like, we love to have a system in place that whomever is elected to manage the affairs of the people is given the opportunity to do that. And it cannot be business as usual when it is not happening. I am saying this, and I am beholding no reservations to my comments, that this is a political process. The office of the representative of the prime minister is a political filter, and any application that goes to there will be politically filtered, and persons in Linden and in the entire region 10, I am saying this to you that's listening, do not believe that you are begging anybody and no political party for any favor for a part-time and any 2-week job because it is being represented in this manner because of the offices that those applications are being processed through. Don't fall for that.
Yep. We were listening to Keith Rowley quite recently, and one of the things he said is, some people, he was referring to one of the ministers, one of the members of parliament and in Trinidad and Tobago. He said some people, would sully the image of the country for a plate of food, and we don't have to sell ourselves for that, because what we want is lasting policy. What we want is permanent jobs. Let's start there, right? They promised 50,000 jobs. Hopefully they're going about it in this manner, in this very hopscotch kind of way. It is shameful. It is shameful. You have a whole administration, and you will think they would, as Deron was articulating there and Amanzo, in a wholesome way go about this. You would, if they were serious, as Deron I think said it, you would think you'd see the Small Business Bureau. You'd have a whole outfit, in Linden driving this process, not some political appointees, the people who can really and truly ensure that the policies get to the people who are affected the most. Perhaps Ministry of Public Service, you'd expect to see with some office being set up temporarily in Linden, Small Business Bureau, and these kinds of organizations would give a signal that really and truly, we mean what we say, and we say what we mean. But this here is just, things that are said off the cuff because you want some political mileage, and you get people hopes up. But it's really and truly square one. You're at square one. Amanza, Darren, as we wrap up.
Go ahead, Darren. Go ahead.
Basically, what I wanted to share is you need to have a
If you can be a little closer to the microphone,
Darren is another distant.
Yes, you hear me, Claire?
Very good, better.
Good. So basically, Sharon um, hit that point very um, straightforward. There, it was very straightforward. What I want the viewers to understand and for them to remember, one, in terms of, let's back up a bit to the budgetary allocations for the region. And Sherrod dealt with this on his program, how we receive a meager $500,000 increase as compared to other regions. The council has never concurred with many aspects of the final budget submission for this region, right? The subcommittees would have met, we would have articulated based on the consultation that we had what is best for the communities based on what people said. And if indeed this was not a political move, this 800 proposed temporary jobs, why didn't you bring it to the council for the representatives to go and interact with their constituents? So what we are seeing here again is an attempt by the central government to largely ignore the representation that is made by the elected component of the council, and they're determining through political action and political maneuvering what it is that they think is best for this region, and setting their priorities. That is most unfortunate. And so young people need to be very careful to understand that there's a stark difference. That while we were in government, we were teaching you how to fish. We were empowering you um, so that you can live a decent life. What you are having now is they are giving you a fish, they're giving you handouts so that they can control and dominate you, right? And you need to be very careful about that. Yes, we know that they will continue to discriminate against this region and against Afro Guyanese and supporters of the coalition. Um, and that is something that they can't help themselves. That is just their nature. But now, because as I said, there is an anticipated snap elections coming soon, they're going to come and attempt to mislead you, fool you, give you a few handouts, and believe that they can, you know, they can get your support. And so you have to understand that while you and are being bombarded with these things, understand that there are 800 of your brothers and sisters in this region who were taken off of public assistance. That there are persons who, single mothers, who were told, no, we're not going to you can't justify any sort, any, why you should remain on the program, we're removing you. How do they feed their children? How do they, be reintegrated back into society when you just remove them with no clear plan in place for them to continue to provide for their families? So do not be fooled. You know, I will say to you, when hampers and when the cash grants are coming, you're entitled to it. It's your taxpayers' money that is funding it. Do not ever feel as though it is a favor that is being given to you, right? When you compare that meager pittance that you're getting as compared to 70% of the contracts going to friends and cronies and family and supporters of the PPP, millions of dollars, um, you know, understand that these people are not doing you a favor. They're supposed to do it, but they will make you feel as though that it was a favor that was done and that you are now supposed to be loyal to them. And that is unacceptable.
Unacceptable indeed. Guys, as we wrap up, Amansi, could we have some final thoughts from you and then thereon once more? Lots happening, and Mansi, you articulated them well in this missive you had on social media that caused quite a stir. We even put out a story on our end at our affiliate credible sources, and where you said from Dildo Gate to in the National Assembly to Narvin Singh, the son of a former Chief Justice, spitting in the face of policewoman Shaunet Bullers, or mishandling of a female rank in uniform by a group of our colleagues. There seems to be no shortage of indicators that nothing irregular where we are, and as epitomized at Darren's end as well, lots of stuff going on in the ground in Region 10, that really and truly careful consideration and deliberation and action needs to be dealt with, and not political handouts per se. Your final thoughts, guys, as we wrap up.
I think, Sharon, the the reality is that we really, and I keep saying this, but I feel it now more than ever, that we are at a crossroad. What the PPP will do is that they have begun to campaign using the state's resources to do so. Some people may say it's smart or whatever. I have no view either way on that issue. My point is this: the people must understand that they are the power and the government is their servant. The people must understand, and I wish that I could say it's going to be easy, but it's going to take hard work to right this ship, because this ship is listing. We are losing our way, and it's going to take hard work. Just like how Barnum and Chetty and had to fight. It was a David and Goliath type of fight to independent, become a republic. It wasn't easy. Just like how our ancestors had to rebel and so on to secure their freedom from slavery. It's not easy. We want easy. And the truth is, for us to secure our democracy, for us to secure this nation, and for us to leave a better country for our children, we got to do the hard work. And part of that hard work is beginning to tackle the mindsets that allow us to continue to be wedded to mediocrity. We have some of the best and brightest brains coming out of Guyana. When you read, a lot of people are lauding the development of Singapore and of the Middle East and so on. What they don't know is that they're Guyanese economists who played significant roles in developing these parts of the world.
Correct.
Because
Correct.
we have the brain power. What is it that binds us so badly as a people that we can't realize that for ourselves? And I am submitting to us that it is this misplaced, toxic political culture that we have allowed to foster and fester in Guyana. This race-based winner-takes-all politics. We have to fight for the strengthening of our institutions. Say what you want about the developing countries. They are strong and they are able to exploit and to take advantage of opportunities because their institutions function.
Yeah.
The PPP is dismantling our institutions and replacing them with personalities. So you always have to be personally beholden. The institutions must work. The police force must work. There must be a transparent process for ascendancy in the force. The constitutional committees must be appointed. Why is it that we are so content with handouts and temporary solutions to our problems? Is it because we do not want to do the hard work to secure a better future? Why are we making children to bring them into this world if we are not predisposed to try to make it better? We're bringing them to punish them? And I mean, I know I sound very passionate, but I am at the point where if we do not get it now, we are going to be condemned to a very bleak future. Because, look, our prices are skyrocketing. Our books will look good, as Giretta will tell you. What are we doing to make sure that the average Guyanese benefits? Look at how expensive things are. You mean to tell me that this government, instead of plugging all of that money into infrastructure, cannot bring some direct relief to families? They have refused to lift a finger. Lie to say they moved the tax on gas from 50% to zero when they have been incrementally decreasing it? What have they done to ease the burden on hardworking Guyanese?
That's the question
And so
indeed.
they come, they swore the people, but we will continue to go the length and breadth of this country to say, do not be fooled. What they're wanting to do is call a snap election to legitimize themselves for another few years. And it will be more of the same. It will be more of the same. And look forward. Let me say to our people that they are going to come with a set of money because they're going to begin to try to buy votes. I want you to understand that you are to collect every cent, but understand what their game is.
Every cent.
Darren, if you want to add anything else, here's a good opportunity. Thanks, Samantha, for that. As we wrap up.
Well, I just want to remind especially our people here in Region 10, that one, the PPP has returned to its old policies of starving communities and strongholds of the coalition of resources. And we have been seeing how over the past 2 years, that they have been discriminating against those communities and people who do not support them. Of course, this is a source of instability in our society, as Amanda just mentioned. And so people need to understand that they don't have an interest for you. It's clear as day. And therefore, any attempt to follow them is to really be on a course of self-destruction. I believe our people recognize um, that while the APNU, AFC was in government, they got a better deal as against the PPP trying to bribe them in various forms, in many ways. And so understand that their interest is not the development of this region or those other regions that, especially those that supported the coalition and the people. But basically what they have been doing is picking off people who are connected to their party, the word of the two persons who the farm's got to be submitted to. And that is basically what they're doing. Picking off people who are connected to their party. They're giving them resources, doling out cash, doling out money. I'm seeing them steady. They're coming in here in Victory Valley. But let them know that the majority of the people that they remove from the public assistance program are the very people who live in Victory Valley. And so by setting up a basketball court that started under the coalition and under the Brooms Foundation, when Minister Brooms was there, you can't come and just steal somebody else's, program that they launch and think that you will get a photo with the Chinese ambassador for the optics and feel that people will buy that. There are many people who you fired, many of the people who work in the ambulance brigade, some of them live in Victory Valley. Many of the people who are on the public assistance program are from Victory Valley. Many of the people who were trained under the First Lady Sandra Granger's ICT program and that were employed at the National Data Management Agency live in Victory Valley. So when you close them and you fire them and you remove them from being able to provide for their families, understand that it is not something that is pleasing in the sight of many of our people. And so our people need to remain focused, remain resolute, and understand that our MPs and your regional leaders will continue to make representation to the international community. I'm happy that I received a call from the United Nations rep, and they were shocked at many of the issues, many of the things that have been happening in the region. And we wrote them, they're aware, and so we hope that action will be taken against these discriminatory practices that have been occurring here in the region.
Great. Thanks, Darren, for that. We got to stay focused. Amans has been saying it for 2022. Hold a focus. We got to hold a focus, folks, and, keep militant and vigilant. We got some tough times ahead. Some tough days are ahead of us. And I'm so happy that, we're going to do what we got to do. It didn't slip me, guys, Amanda and Darren, that we have 3 Londoners on the panel today and 1 outsider. That's all I'm going to say.
Mhm.
3 Londoners and 1 outsider, full stop.
My voice is as loud as the 3 of you combined.
I think the poet would say, I come as 1, but I stand as 10,000. It's been our privilege having the regional chairman, Region 10, Darren Adams, here with us. Fantastic gentleman doing fantastic work on the ground there, inspiring work. And we have Amanda Walton, this is AWD, the Shadow Minister for Foreign Affairs and International Cooperation, Member of Parliament, the Honorable, joining us as well. Guys, thanks to both of you and my co-host, and also Amanda is our co-host for our morning program, one of the co-hosts for the morning program, FYI. She's going to be back sometime soon, I'll just say that. And good, it'd be great to have her back, and good to have Teresa in studio as well, lending her voice to the podcast today. Teresa is our co-host for the morning program as well, FYI. And thanks for all of you who tuned in today. Amanda, Jaron, thanks so much, and Teresa.
Thank you for having us, guys. Take care.
Awesome. That's our time, guys. That's our program. Please, we always say this is what our passion is, bringing credible and valid information to you guys. Working for the people out there, working for the people, working for you guys. That's what we want to do. We know that one of the tasks we have is keep you guys informed, keep you guys up to date with what's happening, each and every one of you. And so we invite you guys as a result of doing all of this programs and so forth. It takes something, it takes a little bit to get it all done, and we invite you guys to come on board and to partner with us. So that's one of our mantras here. You got to smash that emoji button. Hundreds of you still listening to us. Smash that emoji button, share the program, folks. Other folks get valid and credible information. I see folks sharing us on Twitter. I can see those shares on Twitter, and Marilyn Braffett and all the other folks joining us and lending their voices on Twitter. We see you guys. We see you there, Marlon and Ronier, Caesar, and all the other folks listening to us on Twitter. Thanks for the love and support of that. And those folks joining us on YouTube, our tubers, ensure you subscribe to the channel. Twitter folks, ensure you follow us on Twitter. And also the Facebook peoples, get how. Good to have all of you guys with us today. Share the live stream, smash that emoji button, and let's go forward, folks. Pace and power. That's our time. Unfortunately, we got Zelle available for you guys to support us and contribute. We got PayPal, we got Cash App, MMG, we got MoneyGram, we got Western Union, folks. Find a way to come on board and partner with us so we can do more of this. That's our time, folks. Good to have so many of you on the podcast. Good to have each and every one of you, Glycis Mingo Byrne, Candy Naleen, Inderjeet, Chinsing Henry, and Philomena Fontinelle. And I see also we have, guys, it's so glad to see Maxine Monroe. All of you are great folks. You all said, Chinsing said, we fast. I didn't want to say, but as you mentioned it, we fast. Good to have you guys. That's our time. See you guys right back here at 8 this evening. We in the ring. We can talk the things. Good to have you folks on our international podcast, Below the Belt. Who vex, lose. And you guys make these programs what they are. If you see any value in them, it's because of you folks. You make it what they are, folks. We're so grateful to have each and every one of you here. Stay safe and have a great afternoon. Enjoy the rest of the lunch if you guys are still lunching. That's our time. Stay safe, guys. Stay safe.